Hello, this is Bill with my August TBR pile of possibilities. So, first is August of Adventures. So I'm reading Treasure Island. So I read this probably about 50 years ago, so time to reread it. And The Lost World and Other Stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I don't know if I've read this one before or not. And Tarzan of the Apes. I read this more than 50 years ago, and then I read it again about 5 years ago. So I had some Valentine paperbacks for a while. These nice covers. I had the first 3 Tarzan novels and 6 of the Barsoom novels. But they were piled on the floor and the cats were using them as a scratching post, so they were in rough shape, so I threw them away after I read them about 5 years ago. And King Solomon's Mines by H. Rider Haggard. And Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. So I read that one more than 50 years ago. This one I think I got at a department store. Was back in the 60s. I'd never seen a bookstore. The only place I seen to buy books was when my parents went to department stores. So there was a whole shelf of these companion library books. But I only had enough money to pick out one, and so this is the one I picked out. So that was back in the days when I still put a Y on my name. Says illustrations copyright 1963. So hopefully I'll get around to reading this pile in August. But if by some miracle I get all those finished, then I could always read some books for Garb August. It's Wild White Witch. So in grade 9, the English teacher told us bring novels to read for one class. So we sat there reading novels while he was marking papers or something. And then he walked around to see what everybody was reading, and Darcy was reading The Wild White Witch, and he said, that book's not appropriate. So he went to his cupboard and got out a novel for Darcy to read instead of this one. Then when I moved to the city in 1976 and discovered bookstores, I spotted this and picked it up, and I've never read it yet. So I like the cupboard of books that the English teacher had. Back in those days, the school supplied all the books we needed for class. So he had about 30 copies of each novel that he was using in his classes. So I would borrow books out of his cupboard when he wasn't looking, but then when it came time to read one in class, I thought I better not read the one I'd snuck out of his cupboard, so I found something else at the library to read. So it was a science fiction novel I was reading. I don't remember which one. Then there's Fractal or Virtual Mode by Piers Anthony. So book 1 of the Mode series. I read this one many years ago and was completely disappointed with it, so I never did get to the book 2, and I never bought any more in the series. And for a while I was buying everything I found by John Norman. So, because I was reading the Gore books, but I've only read about the first 6 Gore books, so I have a whole pile here that I haven't read yet. But this one is, I hear, is a collector's item. It's hard to find nowadays. The China Syndrome by Burthon Wohl. Doesn't even have the author's name on the front. So these are my Garb August selections, if I ever get around to reading them. So I have at least 3 more videos to do in the near future. My July wrap-up, and then in my earlier book haul video I said I had 4 book haul videos. So far I've only done 2, so I got 2 more of those to do yet. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.